everyone. If you're new around here, my name is Tammy. I run the blog and YouTube channel, Organize Yourself Skinny. I share meal prep ideas and lifestyle hacks to help you fit the healthy life into your busy life. Today, I want to share with you some breakfast options for putting together a high protein breakfast that don't include eggs. Now, personally, I love eggs and we eat them quite often in my house, but I do understand that there are many people out there that don't eat eggs, or maybe you just want other options for a high protein breakfast without having to, break a couple eggs every single morning. So I'm sure you already know this, but breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and not just any breakfast, but definitely a breakfast that includes protein. I think that is so important, not even if you're just looking to lose weight, but if you're just looking to be healthier and to kind of just get through your day with energy. Having a breakfast that is filled with protein, first, it's gonna fill you up faster. So you're gonna feel full faster than you would, say, eating a donut or a bagel, and it's going to keep you full longer. So when you eat something like a bagel compared to, say, let's just say, a high protein breakfast like Greek yogurt and berries or nut butters or whatever, you are going to feel that crash and burn. So you'll feel hungry, or you'll feel full after eating that bagel, but then you're going to be hungry within the next hour and you're going to feel tired and lethargic. Having a breakfast that's filled with protein will help you feel energized longer and will keep you full longer. So you're not feeling that need to eat an hour after you had breakfast. So having protein first thing in the morning is definitely something that I feel is really important with staying healthy, losing weight, and just feeling good in the morning and throughout the rest of your day. Okay, so I'm going to share with you just some different ideas that I have for adding more protein to your breakfast that don't include eggs. So I'm going to just start with just some basic ingredients that you can have on hand in your pantry, in your refrigerator, so you can add that protein punch to your breakfast whenever you feel like it. Then I'm going to go over just some recipe ideas that I use that are high protein breakfast options that don't include eggs. Okay, so let's get started with the ingredients that I like to have on hand in my kitchen that are good for adding some protein, not even just to breakfast, but to any meal, but we're going to talk about breakfast today. So the first is quinoa. I am a huge quinoa fan. I use it every single week in my salads, but you can also use quinoa in things like stirring it into oatmeal, into overnight oats, and then you can even eat quinoa just by itself as a breakfast recipe. So you can make a batch of it, put some pure maple syrup in it, stir some nut butter. So pretty much eat it the same way that you would eat oatmeal. And quinoa is a complete protein, so it's great to have if you're vegan or vegetarian, just to get in that extra amount of protein. One of the things that I always like to mention when I'm talking about quinoa is just where to purchase it, because even though I think quinoa is very readily available now, I do think, at least for me in my own grocery stores in my town, it can kind of be a little pricey, especially if you're just purchasing a smaller jar of it. So if you live near a wholesale store like BJ's, Sam's Club, Costco's, I highly recommend going there to look for quinoa and even other natural ingredients. But I get this 3-pound bag of quinoa, organic quinoa, from BJ's Wholesale for about $11. And that is a great price if you consider when you go to Wegmans or Tops. All they sell are these small bottles or small jars of quinoa, and they're like $6 or $7. So if you're going to eat this quite often, I highly recommend checking out a wholesale store to see if they offer it. But if they don't, then or you don't have access to that, then I recommend going to your bulk section in your grocery store, because I always find quinoa, all different varieties of quinoa, in my bulk section. So that's a great way to get it for a better price. And then you can also just kind of get what you need if you're just, wanting to try it or, just use it in a recipe or however you're using it. But yeah, if you're looking to get a good price and you're going to use it all the time, go check out your local wholesale store. Another high protein breakfast option ingredient that I like to have on hand all the time is Greek yogurt. And my favorite Greek yogurt is Siggi's Greek yogurt. And that's because it's lower in sugar and it's high in protein. So this container, this 5.3 ounce container, has 110 calories, 9 grams of sugar, and 15 grams of protein. Now that is, compared to other brands out there, I can show you, I have this one that I grabbed from one of my local supermarkets. This 5.3 ounce container of Greek yogurt has 13 grams of protein, but it has 17 grams of sugar. So you definitely want to be very cautious when you're purchasing Greek yogurt as a breakfast option, a high protein breakfast option, because even though certain brands might be higher in protein, they also might be filled with sugar. And you don't want to eat a lot of sugar first thing in the morning because, like I said earlier, that's going to cause you to kind of have that crash and burn. But Greek yogurt is great to have with berries, nuts, things like that. Now, if you're looking to reduce your sugar even more, so let's just say you think 9 grams of sugar might just still be a little bit too much, you can definitely choose to eat plain Greek yogurt. So Siggi's plain Greek yogurt has 16 grams of protein and only 4 grams of sugar, which I think is really good. So you can eat that with some frozen berries or regular berries, and that would be a delicious high protein breakfast option. Another ingredient that I absolutely love to have on hand, not just for a high protein breakfast ingredient, but for just snacks and whatever throughout the day, and that is raw nuts. My favorite are raw almonds, but you could pretty much use any raw nut to add a really good boost in nutrition and protein to any breakfast recipe, snacks, whatever. Now, a serving of raw nuts is a 1/4 cup. And so that's something to keep in mind, especially when you're adding it to a breakfast recipe, because now a 1/4 cup of raw almonds will add 160 calories, 14 grams of fat, 6 grams of protein, and 1 gram of sugar. So while raw nuts are extremely healthy, super good for you, obviously you want to make sure you're measuring them out, because eating too much of a good thing is still too much. And if you're not paying attention, you can definitely increase the calories and fat of a recipe without even thinking about it. So a 1/4 cup looks like this. And so just measure it out before you add it to any recipe to get some extra protein. But another thing is you want to make sure that when you're purchasing nuts, that you are purchasing raw. And what I mean by raw is that they are not processed. They're not roasted and salted and have candy on them or sugar. Obviously, something like that would completely defeat the purpose of eating healthy. So when you're looking to use nuts as a way to add protein to your breakfast, you want to make sure that you're purchasing them raw to get the best benefits out of them. All right, so keeping with the nut theme, another ingredient that I always have in my pantry or refrigerator that I use all the time to add protein to breakfast, even lunch, would be almond butter, or any nut butter really. Almond butter I stir it in my oatmeal, I stir it in my yogurt, I'll eat it with fruit, use it in a wrap, whatever, but it is a great way to add a good punch of protein and good fats to pretty much any breakfast recipe. Now, just like with raw nuts, a couple things to consider when you're purchasing almond butter, peanut butter, or any nut butter is you want to get as organic and natural as possible, because you don't want to purchase a nut butter that's filled with sugar, hydrogenated oils, or any additives or preservatives, because again, that kind of defeats the whole purpose of, eating healthy. So make sure, you just purchase nut butter in its natural form as much as possible. But also keep in mind that just like with raw nuts, as healthy as nut butter is, it is really easy to kind of eat too much. So 2 tablespoons of this almond butter have 190 calories, 16 grams of fat, and 6 grams of protein. Now, I don't know about you, but I am definitely someone who could just take a big scoop of peanut butter, eat it, and just, that will make me very happy. Obviously, you need to be careful when you are using nut butter as a way to add protein. Get your measuring spoons out and measure out exactly what you're going to eat, just so you know what you're eating, and you can just kind of, account for those calories and account for that fat and whatever, just so you don't, kind of like blow a recipe out of the water by using too much. But this is a great way to add protein to pretty much any breakfast recipe. You can even stir this into smoothies if you want to. All right, so the next 3 ingredients are more like the superfoods that I love to just have in my pantry and add to recipes. So the first one is chia seeds, and I absolutely love chia seeds. I totally believe in their superpowers, I guess you can say. 1 tablespoon of chia seeds has 60 calories, 2 grams of protein, 4 grams of fiber, and 0 grams of sugar. I feel like chia seeds do wonder in just boosting up any recipe. They add protein, they add fiber, and I just think that it does wonders for your digestive system, your skin, your nails, your hair. It has omega-3 fatty acids. It is just a great superfood to add to your recipes. And I will mostly use chia seeds in smoothies, but I also use them in overnight oats. So that's the 2 ways that I use chia seeds. But you could literally add this to just about any recipe. And again, just like with what I said about the quinoa, I get a huge 3-pound bag of chia seeds from BJ's Wholesale for about $10. And this is a great price compared to what it goes for in the local grocery stores. So if you plan to use chia seeds quite a bit as a way to add protein to your recipes, I highly recommend going to your local warehouse store, your local wholesale store, and to see if they have chia seeds there in bulk. Along the same lines as chia seeds, I just started using hemp hearts, and this is also a great superfood to add protein, omega-3 fatty acids, fiber. Again, it's super good for your digestive system, for your skin, your hair, your nails. It just is overall just a great way to add a big nutritional punch, protein punch to all of your recipes, including your breakfast recipes. I add hemp hearts into my smoothies. You can put it into any baking recipe, stir it into oatmeal, whatever is gonna just be easy for you to just add this into your recipes. Just go ahead and measure it out and put it in. All right, so the last superfood that I just recently discovered, and I think is a great way to add a good boost of protein and other nutrition to your breakfast, is to add some collagen peptides to your morning. So I just recently discovered this in the last year, and I absolutely love it. 1 scoop of collagen has 10 grams of protein. So it is a great way to kind of just add in a good punch of protein. You could, you might be thinking, well, how the heck do I eat this? It comes in a powder form. So you can blend this into your smoothies. You can stir it into your oatmeal, into your coffee. I used to put it into my smoothies, but now, because sometimes I don't drink my entire smoothie, I'll just have my smoothie, but then I'll just have a glass of water, and I'll just mix a scoop of the powder into it. And then that's how I get like in my extra protein and all the other benefits that come along with drinking collagen. So collagen is awesome for your skin, hair, nails, digestion, and it has a ton of other health benefits. So this is just an ingredient, that superfood that I love to have on hand and that I love to add to my morning, not only just to get to protein, but all the other nutritional benefits that I talked about. The last thing I want to say about collagen, because you might be thinking or wondering, where do I buy that from? You know, how do I get it? So I purchased grass-fed collagen peptides right off of Thrive Market, and I'll put a link below in the description. And they have, just like with anything, I mean, there are so many brands, so many varieties. It gets super confusing trying to figure out what you should get, how much you should spend. I decided to go with the Thrive Market brand because this bag costs, a 20-ounce bag costs $24, which is actually a really great price. It's about half the price as some of the other brands that are out there. It had amazing reviews. It's super high quality. And I've just, I've been really happy with it. I've been using it for probably over a year now. So anyway, I get it from Thrive Market. I don't get this from the store. I order it online. I will put a link to it in the description. So if you want to check it out, you can. Okay, so those are all of my ideas to prepare a high protein breakfast that doesn't include eggs. Okay, so now I just want to share some of my favorite high protein breakfast recipes that don't include eggs. And I will put links to all these recipes in the description. So the first one is overnight oats, and most people wouldn't think that overnight oats would be high in protein because it is an oatmeal, but between the chia seeds and the coconut milk, there's enough protein and fat to keep you full and satisfied between meals. And not to mention, if you stir in some nut butter like almond butter or peanut butter, you can create a breakfast recipe with at least 15 grams of protein. Another recipe that you wouldn't really think could be high in protein is steel cut oats, but it's actually something with the right ingredients where you can have a very high protein and high fiber breakfast that will keep you full well until lunch. So just by adding in some quinoa, handful of nuts, or a swirl of almond butter or peanut butter, that can add in quite a decent amount of protein. If you're looking for a super simple breakfast recipe that's big on flavor and packed full of protein, then you definitely need to try some avocado toast. We are huge avocado toast fans in this house. And you can keep it as simple as just mashing up the avocado with a little salt, pepper, and lemon, putting it on some high fiber bread, or you can fancy it up with other ingredients like cottage cheese, cream cheese, tomatoes, onions. But you can definitely get a very good high protein breakfast that's very easy to make with avocado toast. The last easy option for getting in a high protein breakfast without using eggs is to eat cottage cheese with some fruit. And actually, cottage cheese is one of my favorite ways to get in a lot of protein without a lot of fat and calories. And I also like to meal prep this ahead of time using glass containers so I can just easily grab and go in the morning. Now, I'm going to share some more high protein breakfast recipes in the description below. If I'm missing any ideas or any recipes, definitely write them in the comments and let me know, because I learn as much from all of you as I hope you learn from me. If you want to be notified when I post a new video, definitely hit subscribe. Thank you so much for watching my videos, and I will talk to you soon.